I think for me, owning a log cabin is such a gift. And it has a feeling that you'll never get with any other home.
The house has a soul. It's like it's a living house.
Really dates back from my childhood. I grew up with a darling little A-frame cabin and got to spend my summers with my grandparents. I just always imagined being able to have my own children do what I got to do by spending time at the cabin. Our hope is that our great-great-great-grandchildren will talk about how this cabin was built, and it will still be a good, healthy cabin. I remember when the very first time we kind of designed it, it was just this very basic little small cabin. And then we really started thinking about the fact we had 7 children, we had 10 grandchildren. How were we gonna make that work? So little by little, it got bigger and then bigger and then bigger. We already had an idea in our minds, but when we went to Homestead log homes in Medford, Oregon, they were great about sitting down with us.
We wanted an entryway, because a lot of houses up here, they're gorgeous, but you walk straight into the living room. We just wanted that place where you can greet
Actual
your guests,
foyer.
and you can gather, and you can take your jackets off on a snowy day, and then you head on into the house. And so that was really important to have that greeting area.
I had so many people that really came down hard on me about putting in a black kitchen. They're like, how could you put in a black kitchen? And you're gonna be covering up all those logs. And I said, no, you have to understand the vision that I had for it. I was inspired by the designs of the 1920s. They had that old beadboard style, the shaker cabinet. They had the old copper shell handles. And as I started researching, I found everything I wanted on Etsy. It was really important for me to support local artists or artisans in general. One really unique piece that I wanted in this kitchen was Celtic design of the backsplash above the stove. That became that wow piece in the kitchen. Even though it's something so simple, just having that really creates the warmth of the kitchen, and I absolutely loved it. We really loved Timberline Lodge. We just loved the design of it, how you had the main great room and then the upstairs areas looked into the great room. Took us so long to figure out what type of fireplace that we were going to want to have. We started looking at stack stone, and it just happened to be that I found someone who was very, very skilled in laying the stack stone properly. When we found our fireplace guy, he really knew how to bring this to light, and I couldn't be happier with how our stack stone fireplace turned out. The biggest thing for me that I love so much are the dormers. And I think that log cabins that have these little dormers with window seats, it just makes it such a magical space. And we always talk about it feels like a fairy tale. And that's the first thing people say when they walk in here is, gosh, I feel like I'm in a fairy tale when I'm here. We wanted to get bunk beds, and we decided, you know what, we really need something to pull in that fairy tale feeling. So I was going through and looking for different types of bunk beds, and I found this cabin bunk bed, and I thought, oh, kids are gonna love this. They're gonna want their own little bunk bed. And so after we got it, I was like, okay, we need to pull the theme in with the curtains. And so I made the curtains, and we did the bottom ones where they could, like a fort. This room was my very first room that I designed. I was so excited to design a bathroom. I wanted it to be kind of that farmhouse theme. I started researching chicken wire type stuff to add, like your lighting, and I found chicken wire lights. And so everything just started to pull together to be unique, and I wanted this to be a really fun space where people would kind of look around and go, oh my gosh. We had a lot of tongue and groove left over from our ceilings. And so, well, it just happened to be that all of them were just the right thickness to actually become a door. So every single one of the doors in the cabin that are all sliders were actually all the leftover supplies from our ceiling. After I received a phone call from Klamath County asking the Chamber of Commerce wanted to come out, and they walked in here and they said, this would be the most magical bed and breakfast. Have you ever thought about making your log cabin a bed and breakfast? And I thought, no, but let's look into that. And to my shock, it was the only bed and breakfast in all of Klamath County. And we thought, that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're working towards, is what is Red Cone Lodge's purpose? Not just for us as a family, but to share with anybody that can come and spend it here with us. We had a family that came. They came to stay here. And we were talking one morning, and she said, I can't tell you, Kim, how healing it has been for us to spend time in this cabin because we've suffered a great loss. And she said, there is something so special about being here that we feel we're a part of the big picture of what you've intended this place to be. And you know what we're witnessing right before our eyes every time we open the door, or when our grandchildren walk through the door, our children, anyone who comes here, it's a feeling of just like it comes to life. And that was what the vision of this place was for me. And through, as it evolves, inviting people in that have had tragedy and can come here and share and be a part of this, that's what we're hoping.
It's the next chapter.
It's the next chapter for this.